What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all had a great holiday weekend. Um, this is Lance of BH Capital Enterprises, and this video is another one of my special request videos that I want to get done. I had a young lady ask that I take a look at DraftKings, so I'm going to do that in this episode of Market Markup. Again, as I've stated before, this is not any type of investment advice or anything like that. This is just something that I love to do. And another disclaimer, I do not own any stocks or hold any type of positions in this stock, DraftKings. So if you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Hopefully you'll stick around, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell. Leave a comment. Tell me your thoughts, what you'd like to see, any questions you might have, any companies or tickers you'd like for me to look up and do a video on. And if you are returning, welcome back. Same goes for you. If you have any tickers that you'd like for me to check out, I'm happy to do so. Next video I think will be on QQQ. Also by special request, and I'm just going to probably throw VIX in there after that, and then we can get back to some special requests if I have any that come in. So just so you'll know the order of things moving forward. If you haven't, go back and make sure you check out my previous market markups and any other videos that I've done if you feel compelled to do so. And you can see, you can judge what I put out in the past and look at how those tickers moved based on, my analysis or just based on how they look. And then judge for yourself with uh, how you think I did. So anyway, let's hop on into DraftKings. I've never traded this company before. I know some of my Chartmaster people do trade and follow DraftKings. I don't follow it at all, really, outside of Chartmaster's mentioning of it. But that's about it for me. And yeah, Chartmasters. So Chartmasters is a graduate group of people that have taken any one of my high tech options courses, or workshops. So those workshops are 6 weeks long. And once you graduate out of the 6 week workshop, you move over into Chartmasters with other people that have taken the course or the workshop before you. So in Chartmasters, we continue to push it to the limit with learning charts, encouraging each other, helping each other to meet whatever goals that we have, and just talking about charts and marking up charts all day. So if that sounds like something that you'd like to do, get with a group of experienced people, great group of traders, hit me up in my inbox, leave a comment, and I'll be glad to talk to you about, whether High Tech Options Accelerated will be a good fit for you. Events coming up. I partnered with Onyx Wealth Solutions, and we're going to be doing a live version of High Tech Options Accelerated, but it's going to be really, really, really centered around psychology. So that's going to be great. We got a group of people coming to meet us in Raleigh, North Carolina in a few weeks, actually, June 18th through the 22nd. And we'll be getting into charts and exploring and trying to deconstruct our beliefs about money and wealth and all that good stuff, and trying to leave as better people. So can't wait to meet those of you that are coming. And those of you that missed out, I'm sorry. We'll figure something out if you'd like to uh, participate somehow. But anyway, so DraftKings hasn't been public for a very long time, so that's why you only see two candlesticks on this yearly chart. But already I'm noticing that DraftKings, this area between about 46 and 50 is an area that interests me. And so that's where that's pretty much where the price action has been here lately for this year. Of course, there's been a lot of selling off, but really, historically, the price struggles once it gets above 46. But so far, it's holding above 46. I'm not sure when this dip below 46 happened this year, but I would assume maybe around when we had that big tech correction a few months ago. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't really follow this ticker pretty much at all, really. So this area between about 46 and 50 is really an area of interest for me, whether it be, is this a demand zone or is this a supply zone? Again, this is a yearly chart, so we're not going to see, it's not like we're going to come back 6 months later and see six candlesticks. That's just not going to happen. But that would be some numbers that I would look out for as far as the year is concerned. So I'm actually just going to draw a small little trend line here, and I'm going to draw one here, and I'm just going to edit these a little bit. All right, so yeah, so this is an area that I pay close attention to as far as the yearly chart is concerned. So let's move on to the monthly chart. All right, so monthly chart, let's see. You can definitely see where the price struggles. Again, like I said, where the price struggles above 46. So pretty much almost any time it has broke 46, it pulls back to 46, and that's pretty much what the price action is doing currently. It's pulled back below 50 and could possibly be headed for 46. So um, just something to watch out for. And it may not even pull back to all the way to 46. It might, uh, it may have bottomed out already for the month of June. Who knows? But like I said, as you can see, this area continues to be an area of interest as far as the monthly chart is concerned as well. But another level that I would personally uh, make note of is about this $39-40 level as well. So um, let's see. I'll probably just do another color. Alright, so we'll do, I guess, orange. Alright, so um, okay. I don't necessarily see any patterns currently, but um, this area here is an area that I would be watching as far as sentiment on this monthly chart. So for me, I would need to see the price break out above this trend line before I feel as though, maybe sentiment is starting to change for this ticker. But right now, for the past 1 to 3 months, DraftKings has failed at this in this area here. So um, that could continue for the month of June. It also could change, and there's a possibility that price can consolidate past this trend line, at which point I would just be watching to see where the price goes. The price could, break out above this trend line, um, at which point, I would personally, if I were considering a position, I would be looking to enter to the long side. But for the month of June, I would say maybe about 53, 54 would be an area that I would watch. And actually, I'm just going to do a price level here, and just call it pretty much a trend line break. Okay, show. We'll put it on the right. Okay. All right, so trend line break bullish for the month of June. Now that's not to say that the price is going to get up to this 53, $54 range for the month of June. I'm just saying, for the month of June, that would be the number that I'd be looking for as far as sentiment changing for this ticker. And this is just on the monthly chart, so I don't know how the weekly chart or the daily chart looks at all. So um, now let me see if I see anything else with this one. And if I don't forget, maybe I'll go back and do a volume, look at the volume on this to see how that volume is looking. And I've probably said this in a previous video, that sometimes when the price breaks that trend line, you'll see some consolidation. It doesn't always just break it and just start running hard. It'll kind of consolidate a little bit. So it'll give you some time uh, to look at it and try to figure out, what your ideal entry would be. Um, let's see. I don't think I see anything else here on the on this monthly chart. At least not right now. Charts are like spiritual text where you'll read a text one time and then you'll go back and you'll discover something else that you either misunderstood before or you just totally didn't catch it. So charts are like that. So it's definitely not a one and done type thing. You go back and you look and you look and you look and you bring a fresh set of eyes each time. And sometimes you'll find some good stuff. But let's move on to the weekly chart and see what this weekly picture looks like. All right, so weekly chart. Okay, so they recently reported last month, so almost a month ago they reported earnings. Price dropped down into this area here, right on top of it actually. So this is an obvious demand zone here between about, and I saw it on the monthly chart really, but pretty much between about low 30s to 40s, or pretty much low to high 30s is a demand zone. So I'm going to No, I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to just do a regular trend line here and go good. All right, so actually let's no. Gonna make this like a gold color. Gold. Yeah, no, that's good. All right, and we're just going to demand, demand zone. All right, so edit, do white, make this a little bigger, bold it, check that text arrow off, don't need it, and just gonna move that up a little bit. All right, so here's our demand zone. You know, historically on your longer term time frames. And here's a more recent demand zone um, as identified on those longer term time frames, but um, more recent than this area here. So uh, as you can see, price rose up to this area, consolidated, then it broke out, and then it came back and retested this area, confirming it as a demand zone, and it took off again to new all-time highs. And this time, instead of falling down into that zone, it bounced right off of it so far. So weekly chart appears to be, you know, based on how the candles are looking, the momentum has gotten stronger. At least last week, the momentum was pretty strong on for this ticker. And so far this week, it's just kind of struggling right there at this $49.50 level. But, you know, I'd be looking to see if it can get to some new highs. And new highs, I mean, continue this higher high and lower high. I mean, higher high and higher low trend that it's had over the past 3 or 2 weeks. So, first off, you know, if we're looking on a more shorter term basis, is the price needs to, this week, I would say the price needs to close at least above last week's closing price, which was $49.95. And then even better if it can get above and close above last week's high, which was 51.92. So those are two key numbers that I would be looking for this week on this ticker. And as far as the downside is concerned, 48.18, so low $48 level, and then on down to um, that 46.47 area. So those are a few numbers that I'll be watching short term for this week. Um, but yeah, so let's see. So we have some historical. Uh, okay, yeah. So this, if it beats that area, it pretty much enters into another range where it historically consolidates. So that's something that I would watch out for as well. And let me see. Trying to see if I see any patterns right now. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. So I really could adjust this trend line here to better suit the weekly picture. Um, Yeah. Okay. And you'll see that, the price again for this week kind of lines up with last week's high. So uh, that's going to be probably a tough area for this ticker. But again, that's just what I'd be watching for this week. Not to say that that happens, but if I'm looking to go long, then for me that would be something that I'd need to see first before I even think about taking a long position. And of course, failure at these levels, the price could possibly fall back in toward 46 and maybe even lower. That's just a possibility. Um, Looks like I'm seeing let's see, a descending channel here as well. Let's see. Let me just draw my lines here. Yeah. So we have a descending channel situation happening with DraftKings. So, as you can see, since early or mid March, the price when the price entered this channel, it pretty much has been failing at this the upper trend line of this channel ever since. So it tested it late March, tested it again late April, almost tested it that very next week, but not quite, but had a nice healthy sell-off after or during that first week of May. And then almost kind of tested it again last week, but didn't quite make it. So again, like I said, that fits the narrative technically, whereby a failure at this level could put the price back down toward this historical demand zone. So something that, like I said, something that I'd be watching out for this ticker. Again, not to say that happens. Those are just a couple of scenarios that you can follow and rule out based on what's happening with the price action. So at some point, it's gonna break out of this channel. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of when. We have no clue when that would happen or when that will happen, but for as long as it stays in this channel, you can develop a plan or a trading plan whereby, hey, I catch calls on the bottom side of it and I catch puts on the top side. You know what I'm saying? And of course, this isn't investment advice or anything like that. Like I said, I just do this for fun because I really enjoy looking at charts. But anyway, let's take a look at and I forget to do this every time. I forget to take screenshots as I progress so that my final charts don't look crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna just go ahead and take a screenshot of this weekly chart since I didn't forget at this point, at this juncture. All right, let's look at the daily chart and see how things are looking there. Okay, you can see a bit better where the price has been testing or pretty much oscillating between these two trend lines for the most part. And I'm actually gonna just clean this trend line up here a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Just a tad there. There we go. Okay. And I can bring this in just a little bit. Okay, so descending channel we got there. The historical levels that were identified on the yearly, weekly, monthly charts are still holding and improving to be true. I currently don't see any pattern here on this daily chart. Maybe, just maybe, a potential head and shoulders pattern, but I doubt it. I really doubt it uh, forming here. And then if that's the case, then this price would have to move up at least over 60 before, plummeting again. But I don't think that's the case here. But I could be wrong. But, otherwise, I don't really see a pattern. Let me look at a 2-year. Okay, so something I am seeing is this sentiment here. Okay. So this here kind of represents that longer term um, sentiment where the market's kind of determined, okay, this is where we're topping out at. So as you can see, over the past 2 years, only this area, the price was able to successfully, and I wouldn't even say successfully, it was really a bull trap where the price broke that area and had a few closes above that area before it plummeted back down into this demand zone. So we're seeing the same thing happen here where it tested this area a few times and it plummeted from the all-time high down to um, another demand zone potentially. So I just want to make this let's make this purple, I guess. Okay, and I'm just gonna put some text here to just as a reminder to myself that this is kind of like the historical high. Alright, so I want this to stand out a little bit. Bold. I don't think I want it to be red. I think I want it to be white. Yeah. Boom. Historical high sentiment. We'll activate a little bit, bring it down just a bit. I will also do some calculations on those key pullback areas in just a second. Change my thing here. Okay, so herein lies, over the past 2 years, the majority of DraftKings price action. So with this, let's see, what day was that? May 6th, this breakdown of this ascending channel, sentiment may have changed a little bit. So um, as you can see, the price has quite a bit of friction or resistance before getting back into, pretty much where the markets were comfortable with it being. So first off, it has to break above this 49.50 level. Second of all, it has to beat the upper trend line of this descending channel that it has been trading in since March. And here we are headed into June, so almost 3 months. Um, or we're in June actually, so almost 3 months has been trading in this descending channel. Um, so it has to beat that as well, and then it has to beat this trend line break bullish level that I mentioned for the month of June, before it can get back into this area where it was, kind of cruising along. So maybe some sort of catalyst helps it get there. I know that this one tends to react favorably off of certain sports news and stuff like that. Again, like I said, I don't follow this ticker, so I've never um, watched its behaviors, headed into big tournaments or anything like that. So those of you that, do follow sports a lot more than I do, or follow this company a lot more than I do, you'll be able to, hopefully, you'll be able to identify those catalysts that um, the market deems important. And I'm going to make this purple. All right, so these purple trend lines kind of represent, the overall sentiment for the past nearly 2 years. And then these two white trend lines represent the most recent sentiment, so over the past few months or so. Um, let's see where it's trading in relation to the 50 and the 200. Okay, so here we go. Another obstacle for this company as far as price action is concerned. It's trading below its 200-day moving average currently. And as you can see, the 50-day is curling down toward that 200. So that's just making for stronger uh, resistance, in my opinion. But for me, again, I would certainly like to see the price move above the 200-day moving average before I would even consider or even think about taking a long position. And I've already identified this area, in previous analysis on different time frames, without even knowing that the 200-day moving average was in this area. So obvious breakdown of the market cycle here, market structure. Had some consolidation here and slight advancing, and it's been consolidating over the past, maybe 4 sessions or so. So, just be watching to see if it continues to consolidate, see if it, remains within this descending channel. Uh, if so, then, another breakdown may be coming. But it can also, consolidate inside this range, which it is known to do. So, yeah, overall for me, like I said, just to kind of wrap it up and bring it home, as far as long positions is concerned, I need to see it get up toward 53, to feel like, okay, I can maybe risk it. But at minimum, it needs to beat that 200-day moving average. As far as downside is concerned, all I need to see is it reject that 200-day again, maybe, or maybe not even make it up to that 200-day moving average. Maybe it starts to break down from that upper trend line, which yesterday, or not yesterday, but Friday, it did test the 200-day moving average, which just happened to line right up with the upper trend line of this descending channel. And we got some lower highs here and lower lows happening over the past 2 sessions. So just, be looking to see if that pattern continues into tomorrow. And maybe I consider taking a short position, or, going to the downside and looking for price to hit, 47, 46, somewhere in there, and, reevaluate as the price, hits those targets. Excuse me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about DraftKings. I don't necessarily like to say, hey, this is going here, this is going here. I like to try to remain neutral when I look at charts. So I like to try to find at least one bullish scenario and at least one bear scenario. And of course, a scenario where the price does neither and kind of consolidates. And that keeps me honest, I believe. And it keeps me from doing something crazy for the most part, because I have, more than one plan and I'm not being biased in my approach. So thank you guys for watching. Shouts out to the young lady that asked me to look at DraftKings. I enjoyed doing so. And like I said, if you guys have any other tickers that you'd like for me to check out, I'm happy to do it. Um, and if you have any questions, leave a comment. Please share this. Encourage your friends, especially your trader friends, to check it out. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Whatever your thoughts are, I'm happy to hear them. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode of Market Markup.